Good afternoon, my name's Ian Buckley-Walker and I'm the Bear Gardener, and welcome back to my section on SMB TV about gardening. So last time I spoke to you, we spoke about the types of houseplants that were pretty easy to look after. Today I'm going to explain to you a bit about potting a plant. So when you actually purchase the plant from wherever it will be it online, as most people are at the moment because of the COVID situation, we can't actually go to shops. But there's a wide variety of places where you can purchase these. So we're going to lead on now as if you've chosen what plant you want and the plant actually arriving at your home. So we're going to take it from your plot basically arriving at home. Now this Spathiphyllum is basically a peace lily, and it will arrive at your house, I'd say, in a pot this kind of size. As you can see from this, it's not looking particularly great. In fact, it's looking pretty shabby. So what it basically needs is to be repotted. As I explained last time, plants will come in very, very small containers when you buy them. The reason for this is because it's cheaper. The less soil they have to put in, the tighter they can pack them together, the more they can transport in one go. So to give this plant a bit of a fighting chance, we need to put it into a pot that's slightly larger. So for example, something that around about this size, you should be able to drop it into another pot, giving it about, at minimum, that much extra gap all around the plant. Now with an indoor plant, the way that you plant the pot up is really, really crucial. And the thing that I can't emphasize enough is drainage of this pot is the key to the success of the survival of your plant. So having got a really nice large pot, make sure there is holes in the bottom of it so that any excess water can flow out. Now the first thing you put in the bottom of your pot is some sort of water retention stuff. I've got some hydrolica here. So basically take a couple of handfuls of this, put it at the bottom. What this is going to do is it's going to elevate the soil away from the bottom of the pot. If you haven't got this stuff and it's not available, you can break up some polystyrene, crumble that up, put that at the bottom, you'll have exactly the same sort of effect. So just a very fine layer at the bottom there. What we're then going to do is just add a bit of soil to this. Now I've got a pre-mix here. Now when you're talking about the ratio of compost to soil, in a pot, you need to have about 20 to 50% compost to a soil mix. The reason it's slightly higher than when it's in the ground is because compost retains more moisture. So in a pot you need to retain as much moisture as you can. So about a 50-50 split. You can also buy pre-mixed potting compost, which does exactly the same thing, and the advantage of the pre-mixed stuff is it does have the drainage foam inside it as well, so it's a good little tip to go for that. So what I'm going to do is take a nice big healthy handful of soil, put that in the bottom, push it round to the side. I'm going to take out my peace lily, gently take it out. Just break about a few of the roots out, just ease them out so they're not crumpled in that cluster that you normally get at the bottom of your plant when you buy it. And we're going to place it in there. So the depth of the plant, we basically want the plant to be just below the level of the side of the pot. And we're going to push that in, top it up with some soil, and we're just going to gently push the soil around the outside of the base of the existing plant as we work that round. So just use your fingers, push that in, bring that right up. Wonderful. She's looking a little bit happier already. So what we're then going to do is we're going to give it a nice big water. Now, as I said, the trick to houseplants is to making sure that you water them enough but don't overwater them. So we know this has got holes at the bottom. A little trick, if you're not used to how often to water your plant, instead of dropping it into another fancy container, which looks lovely, start initially by dropping it onto a plate. This way you're going to be able to see any excess water draining onto that plate. So you know if there's lots of water sitting on your plate that you're overwatering it. So use that for a couple of weeks and then you'll be able to create a nice little rhythm. Right, I know that this plant needs to be watered once a week, maybe twice a week. Just before you water it, just remember the test with the finger. Stick that into the soil. Feel the level of moisture in that soil. If the soil comes right off, then you know that it's really dry. If the soil sticks, it's a little bit wet, which is what you're kind of aiming for. Now, when placing your plant in the house, read the instructions on the side. They'll generally tell you whether the plant needs to be in full sun or in shade. But even if you're inside a house that doesn't have a lot of light, doesn't mean to say you can't have plants. But what you've got to remember is that plant needs the light to be able to help it to grow. So maybe once or twice a week, just move the pot to a window position where it can get as much light as possible. Leave it there for the day, let it absorb the light, then put it back into the position where you want it. The next thing you've got to do is just monitor it basically. Keep a check on those leaves. If they look nice and dry, give them a spray with a mister. If they look happy, leave it and enjoy the beautiful plant that you've got.